Hi everyone, that is cream cheese, and we're going to make that into our own homemade cream cheese, because that's what we're making today. So sit back, this is super easy, and when we're done, we're going to make us a few bacon wrapped jalapenos. I can't wait. So let's get to it. Ingredients are first. This is real simple. We need some milk, we need some buttermilk, we need some cream, just a little bit, and some butter. And that's all we're going to need. Oh, a little bit of salt too for flavoring. Now, if you don't have buttermilk, the recipe is so simple. 1/4 milk and 3/4 sour cream. So you can make it yourself. You mix all that together, that's basically your buttermilk. On to making cream cheese. Our first and main ingredient is 1.5 quarts or 1.5 liters of whole milk. So I've measured it out. There we go. It kind of fills up my pan, and we've got to bring this up to a boil. I don't like it, so I got to go to a bigger pan. Make sure you leave yourself enough room. Don't go right up to the top with it. So I think we're okay with this next pan. Now we're going to stir it continually, bring it up to a boil. It'll take 5 minutes or so, and you don't want the milk sticking to the bottom. So we'll, let it start getting warm slowly. And I'm just kind of stirring occasionally. I'm not really in there, at least at the beginning, stirring non-stop. Once it starts steaming up and getting close to boiling, I'll mix it all the time. Just nice and slow. But you can see here it's starting to steam up. And every time I think it's close to boiling, it hasn't quite got there. When you're in a hurry, it just never boils quick. Just like watching a kettle boil. It just doesn't happen when you're standing there. So now it's at a boil. I'm going to pull it off the element. I had to get my buttermilk ready to go. Well, I didn't want it to burn while I was doing it, so that's okay. Buttermilk, 1 cup, 1/4 cup at a time. So that's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. So now you can see that it's going to curdle a little bit. That's normal. And what we're doing now is we're waiting for the water to separate. But you'll see. Oh, that was the last of the buttermilk too. I had like another 1/4 cup. So I decided to throw it in. And you can see here how it's starting to separate. The milk's a little darker color than the solids. You want it all to separate, so I'm just letting it go a little while longer. And once I think I've got enough, we're going to pull it off the heat. Over to our sink. I've got a fine mesh strainer, and if you want to save the liquid, go ahead. I'm not quite sure what you do with it. I'm sure I can find something to do with it. And that's all our, well, basically cheese. Because once we get all the liquid out, that solid cheese at this point is ricotta cheese. Okay, who would have known? I didn't until I started making this. So you could literally put it aside at that point. But now what we're going to do is kind of squeeze out as much of the liquid as we can. You can see, using a tablespoon, just how much I'm getting out by just pushing it. So you want to get a good chunk of it so it looks something like that, almost like a fine cottage cheese. Out of the sink, into our food processor. There, that looks about right. At this point, I'm not sure how much we're going to make, but we'll find out. So we're adding 2 tablespoons of butter. This is at room temperature. I didn't warm it up or anything. Okay, that looks good to go. And now we also have, I've already measured this out, 2 big tablespoons of cream. And that's pretty well all we need. So we'll put the lid on and we're going to spin this thing until it looks nice and smooth. And once it wasn't really mixing that much, I took the lid off and thought, well, okay, it's kind of creamy, but I'll get a spatula. We'll clean out the sides because you know how things build up on sides. And yeah, it's a nice smoothie consistency. It's looking pretty good, I think. But if you do want a little creamier consistency, throw in an extra tablespoon or half tablespoon of cream until you build up to exactly where you want. I could have thrown in half and it would likely be exactly where I wanted it. All right, lid back on, give her a spin. Another 30 seconds, not even. Take the lid off. And I'm just about ready to put it in, and I realized I didn't put the salt in. Huh, that's kind of funny. So, and it's not much. Half a teaspoon's all you need. But you do want to give it a little bit of flavor. And I guess that's optional. You don't have to put the salt in. I'm giving it a test here. Looks pretty good to me, so let's get it in a container. And that's how much we get after we're all said and done. That's about a cup and a half-ish, cup and 2/3 maybe, of cream cheese. So now we got to give it the acid test. I've got some jalapenos, and this is our homemade cream cheese. And I'll know in a second if it doesn't work out. Well, not a second, once we're done baking them. We've got our jalapeno, looks pretty good to me. Now we got to wrap it in bacon, because of course you do. Unless you're a vegetarian, in which case you just don't put the bacon on it. And there you go. I made a whole bunch. And look at how much cream cheese I still have. I got tons. I probably could have made 50 or 60 of them and still had some left over. Get them all wrapped with bacon, put them in the oven. And here they are out of the oven. And I'm going to give it a try. Definitely cream cheesy. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this in any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.